everybody? Big Body Friday here. I have an informational video for you today. I had one of my lifters ask about warming up and how he has experiencing tightness in his shoulders and his hips, lower back area. So here are some things to go ahead and loosen up those areas, especially the shoulder region. These are exercises and warm-ups that I do every single day before I squat and bench. I do both the lower body and upper body warm-ups for my squat day. Reason being is because I have very tight shoulders. Being a bigger guy and low bar positioning, I'm not able to be in as tight and as retracted back and depressed as well. So therefore I have a wider grip on my bar positioning. So other than that, these are some exercises that I do to open up my chest, get some elasticity, and open up the range of motion in my chest and anterior portions of my shoulders. And then I'll also go into what I do to warm up my lower body area, especially the hips. You can do things that are very detailed for your ankles and things of that nature, but for the most part, getting blood circulation into the shoulders, wrists, and the hips usually does a trick for me. So I'll go ahead and get right into it. Terminology for these exercises. I call them whatever. A lot of people might have different, names for these exercises, but just bear with me if you will. So the first thing I have is overhead T pull apart. It's very simple, keeping this band across to the nipple region, if you will, maybe breadbasket area. Just pulling apart, trying to keep my elbows slightly externally rotated. I'll feel it in my rear delts. Another one you can do, you can step on the band. You can get some front delt raises. It's very simple here, boom. And then another one I did a lot when I had some shoulder labrum surgery. I've had 2 tears, 1 surgery on my left. I never got a surgery after the second time. They both happened from playing football. What I'll do is I go underhand, big chest here, and call these helicopters, keeping the elbows at roughly 90-degree angle and pulling apart, keeping the chest big. I'll feel this a lot in the front of my shoulders, anterior AC joint area. From there, there's another one. Bear with me if you will. Where my foot is, let's say that it's a steel rod and I have this behind the steel rod. Simply what you'll do is you can go ahead and row it, okay, keeping a 90-degree angle, boom, very simple. All right, and there's also a straight arm lat pull down or lat row, if you will. Losing my balance on this, but simply here, boom, very simple. Keeping the chest big, squeezing the shoulder blades, that's a huge part here. Making sure that your shoulder blades are retracted, and I feel this in the posterior part of my shoulders. Okay, very simple. So I would do that obviously with my both feet down. I put it behind some type of pole, steel pole, but this actually has resistance. I can do some lateral raises. I can do some front delt raises. I can do some rear delt raises. I usually do that to warm up the shoulders. And then lastly, what I feel is extremely important, as you're getting blood flow into the shoulders, it's extremely important to make sure that you're also training the elasticity of your range of motion and your pecs and shoulders from part of it, because this is how I've experienced my first year of powerlifting. I experienced a lot of pec injuries, minor pec injuries, and it happened because I wouldn't take my warm-ups as serious. So I would warm up, but I wouldn't warm up in the full entirety like I need to. So basically what I like to do is you can start from the top, and in between sets, you can start to kind of just add a little bit of isometric tension. Nice hold here. And I'm actually taking my elbow and I'm pushing it forward. I'm trying to feel a little bit of tension in my shoulder. It's very slight, just to kind of train and get some isometric tension in my chest and my AC joint. And then I start to work my way down. Very nice and simple. And work all the way down until I get kind of into that region of where I'm kind of in that low bar position. This is normally around where my hand would be in low bar. Okay, but obviously with heavy weight, my hands would be stuck there and I'm able to kind of push my elbows forward. And this will also help me and allow me to kind of get the right fit and bar positionings to where it feels nice and stable. And I also have that nice elasticity, and I have opened up my chest and trained a range of motion that's ideal for low bar. So yeah, that's very important. If you feel comfortable with an open chest and you've obviously trained range of motion for your front of your shoulders and you know, your pecs, you know, it's gonna contribute to bench and squat. So it's very important. So yeah, I do that both sides. Now, simple arm rotations. Get blood circulation. We're gonna go internal rotations, 10 external rotations, and 10 big ones. Then do these as many times as you need, but this is all for the point of supporting blood flow into the regions. You wanna tell your body that, hey, I'm getting ready to activate this part of my body, or if I'm gonna squat, I'm getting ready to also activate the hip region and the knees and things of that nature. So you wanna be able to go ahead, I can do some knee rotations, things of that nature in terms of squats. But yeah, so that's for the shoulders. That was for some knees, little rotations. Other than that, this is gonna be a hip exercise that I'm gonna open up my hips. It's gonna be very simple here. You got side swings, you know, they're abducting and adducting across. It's very simple. Then you got internal rotation, external rotation, right? And then lastly, you've got forward and back. Very simple, leg swings. And so that would be what I do for squats. Another one I really like to do in between sets of my squat warm-ups, I like to go ahead and open my feet up, big chest in my squat stance, sit deep, keep a big chest, and I'm actually pushing my knees out, and I'm holding. And this is a good warm-up I like to do for my, it's called a side-on squat. And that's usually what I typically do, what I like to do for my warm-ups. Other than that, I hope this video was very informational, very basic information. I do this all the time in order to make sure that I have proper blood flow and proper warm-up for my bench and my squat. It's extremely important to make sure that you do not get injured. So, Big Body Fitness and Sports, wearing my brother's t-shirt, also Flex Training Systems. Please go ahead and share, like, and subscribe. Share with your friends if you have any issues with warm-up. Hopefully this video will help them. I'm down here in my garage getting this work in, not letting anything stop me. Hopefully you're not letting anything stop you as well. So yeah, guys, Big Body Fitness and Sports. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.